Hello, everyone. My name is Colleen James. I am the CEO and principal consultant at Devonify, an equity and inclusion consulting firm in Waterloo Region, as well as a professor at Conestoga College and a proud Leadership Waterloo Region graduate class of 2017. Today, I am going to share with you two recommended readings for you and your families, for those with littles or even adults. The first book I want to showcase is Miles Away in the Caribbean. So this is a book. Author is Yolanda T. Marshall. She is Guyanese Canadian, and she wanted to highlight the CARICOM nations. So those are the nations within the Caribbean: Antigua, St. Kitts, Grenada, Guyana, or Dominica. This book outlines each of the unique um, differences between each islands. And, as we like to say, no one group of people are a monolith, just like the islands. For anybody who has ever ventured to any islands, you know that there are differences and nuances within each. And I really like this book because not only does it help educate, it also is it's a Black author, and we need representation within our children's books. So I wanted to provide reading that is not only reflective of the Caribbean, but also is near and dear to my heart, as my parents are from Antigua and St. Kitts, two islands within the Caribbean and within the CARICOM nations. So this is available at your local bookstore. And it's a good one to add to your collection. And this author has written many books, so highly recommend, especially for your kids. You want to have them learn or even remember different parts of the Caribbean that maybe you or your families have traveled to. It's a good addition to your collection. Okay, the second book I want to talk about is a book by Ralph Ellison. It's called The Invisible Man. I'll actually show you. This is what it looks like. I've had this book for probably close to 30 years. It is near and dear to my heart, just because of what this book is about and what it represents. And The Invisible Man is about a character who is nameless throughout the entire book, but it was written in 1952, in the 50s, and it talks about the experiences of this man who moved from the South to New York City, and basically his view of the world and his place within the world and how that looked for him. And that notion of, while he was present, contributing member of his community, how he remains invisible in various elements. And in the 50s, as we know, there was lots of racism, discrimination, and just in terms of being a Black male in society and how that reflected. And I think that's very prevalent today for our racialized, our BIPOC community, our marginalized community, that notion of, we're present, but do you really see us? And the nuances and all that that entails, and that those feelings of, do you really see me? And what I'd like to do today is read just a small snippet from one of the very first, from the prologue of the book, just to give you some insight, maybe some deeper reflection, and hopefully encourage those who do not have the book or haven't read it to maybe go out and read it. So the beginning states, I am an invisible man. No, I am not a spook like those who hunted Edgar Allan Poe, nor am I one of your Hollywood movie ectoplasms. I am a man of substance, of flesh and bone, fiber and liquids, and I might even be said to possess a mind. I am invisible, understand, simply because people refuse to see me. Like the bodiless heads you see sometimes in circus showcases, it is as though I have been surrounded by mirrors of hard, distorting glass. When they approach me, they see only my surroundings, themselves, or figments of their imagination. Indeed, everything and anything except me. And I think I'll stop there, but I think just the opening lines make you reflect on, the voices we've heard, we haven't heard, why we haven't heard them. Are we really seeing uh, people within our community and valuing what they bring and paying attention to the lived experiences of others and how that can be internalized over a period of time? And I think the book creates some and creates a space for conversations to really unpack the notion of being visible yet invisible. And in current times like ours, where racial and social justice issues are at the forefront, this book, although written in 1952, is very relevant today. And while it's called The Invisible Man, we can use gender appropriateness, the invisible woman, the invisible child, the invisible, the invisible, the invisible. And what we need to do is really recognize, how maybe our actions or inactions, the notion of having conversations, understanding lived experiences, how important it is, and it continues to be up until today. So I encourage you to read this if you haven't. I read this when I was in my senior year of high school, grade 13, for those who remember grade 13. And I would encourage any seniors who are in school to, they can read this. This is absolutely appropriate. It is a perspective, a perspective that we need to understand. And yeah, so here are my two recommendations: Miles Away in the Caribbean by Yolanda T. Marshall and Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. It is a classic. It should be in everybody's bookshelf. All right, thank you very much.